Greetings and salutations. This is Danthal from PSVRlife, recording this final episode of the PSVRlife podcast, and this time it's not just audio, it's also 180 VR video. If you're listening to this on the podcast, like on iTunes, you're like, oh, there's a video? Yeah, there's totally a video. You should go and watch it because I'm waving my hands in front of the camera, and it's VR 180, which... yeah, exciting stuff. Love it. Anyways, Danthal, PSVRlife. This is the final episode of the PSVRlife podcast. It's been 2 years since we started this. Slice and I found each other on Reddit and said, hey, let's do a podcast together. And we did like 75-ish episodes of the podcast together. It was a great time. I miss you, Slice. I hope everything is going well in your life. I still see you on YouTube, on Facebook and stuff like that. So, whatever. I know how it's going with you. We're good. We'll start off just like, hey, thanks, Steven, or Slice, as everybody knew him on the show. Thank you very much for this incredible journey in the PSVRlife podcast. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of good times with it. It was a lot of interesting conversation about VR and about politics and about life and about everything. We really got, a lot of each other in that. We got all of those episodes and all of that time, and I want to thank you a ton for helping me get the PSVRlife show, to where it is today. You did everything to help me get it started and everything like that. So I wanted to start off by thanking you very much. I wanted to also say thank you to other people that have been part of the show that definitely deserve mention. Pete, you my dog. I don't know what to say. You're a funny dude. We had some good times, and there's stuff that people will never hear on the podcast because I took it out because you and I got kind of raunchy and weird. We got awkward, and that's what I enjoyed. Maybe those will be released as B-rolls or something else at a later point. Who knows? Whatever. Travis, you and I have really had this cool little friendship. We talk to each other, play games with each other, and things like that. You got to be a guest on one of the last episodes of the podcast, and I enjoy that. One of the other great people I met doing this on there. Thank you very much for all of your help. You got me free game codes early on. It's hey, you want a game code for this because I have an extra one? Yeah, cool. So we traded back and forth and talked about game reviews. Help give me perspective. Archie, you're crazy. Wear a seatbelt. Seriously, you're going to get in an accident and you're going to get cut up, and then your tattoos will look funny because they'll have to stitch it and everything like that. So you have to wear a seatbelt to protect your tattoos and everything else. I don't know. I'm just saying thank you for being part of the show. It was a lot of fun having you on. I know that it took a little while to get everything arranged on there, but I'm glad we did. Thank you for being part of the episode. Kevin from the Backlog Exposed. I still think that's a really bad name for a webpage. It's weird. Whatever. Thank you for continuing to do your show and cover PSVR stuff. Thank you for doing my show and being part of that. It was definitely a lot of fun having you on. And then I got to give a shout out to both Adam from the sofa. VR Adam, Sofa of Adam, and also his alter ego, Duquesne, which was fun to have on the show. I loved seeing your transition from, starting your YouTube and Facebook stuff and kind of transitioning into doing more of the Skyrim. I love that you are the Skyrim guy. Your videos were great and everything. Thank you for being part of the episode as both as your alter egos. It was fun. It was like having Latka and Annie Kaufman on your podcast. No, it's always the same person. Anyways, I enjoyed you. We had fun. Chris Shug, Shughead Gaming was on the show a couple times. Thank you very much. Good talking with you too. You're one of those dudes who's a YouTuber and a pro and been doing this for a while. So I enjoyed having you on. I very much felt like you were the harder working of the two of us that week doing game reviews and everything. You still are. Totally cool. Love your channel. Go check out Chris Shughead on Shughead Gaming on YouTube. Sean, thank you for being on this show. I loved your perspective from that young college student kind of perspective. Everybody else, it's different. It was a great perspective. I think you were my first like college student. Maybe not. But it was a great, and I loved that, like, you had a song that I was able to play on the show. Like, it was cool. It's like, hey, we have a guest on the show who has a really cool rap song and does all of that stuff. Thank you. Zach and Michael from Bit Citizen. It was great having you on the show. Having two guests and wrangling, that can be a challenge, but you two were pros. And I think we had a really good time recording the show. Keep up your podcast as well. I enjoyed the stuff that you do there. Anybody with a PSVR podcast is like great stuff. I love talking to all of that part of the community. Danny, the Hidden Object Guru, thank you for being on the show as well. Your YouTube channel is fun too. I love all of the stuff. You have so many videos. It's crazy. This dude has more videos on YouTube than I think I've ever seen with somebody. Just produces crazy stuff. And some of them like incredibly popular. It's cool. I liked it. You were entertaining to have on the show. Then we have Dan from Petrifying Pumpkins. It was also, you're very active in the Reddit community. It's good to have you on. It's good to have like that whole Firewall 0 hour like insider almost on this show. That was exciting. Thank you to Rosie from the other side of the pond. We had a great conversation as well. Another kid from the other side of the ocean. It's always fun talking in that level of distance and making a podcast. That's how easy it is. That's the internet. It's beautiful. Hey, dude in the UK, I'm the guy in the US, and let's meet up at the same time and record a podcast. And we do, and it's easy. It's fun. I enjoyed it. David, thank you for being on the show as well. We were talking about the Magnum PI show that it was recording then. Now it's out. I'm sure you're watching Magnum PI and having a good time with it. Thank you also for being on the show. Ken, thank you as well for joining in. You have your channel, Gumballs Game Room. Go check out Ken's YouTube channel as well. All these great people doing PSVR stuff. And I got to spend an hour or more with all of these people. Mike DiCerto as well. It was funny having a guy closer to my age so we can talk about it, what it's like to be a old school gamer, old man gamer, and enjoying VR with all these kids that are around. But I enjoyed your personality. I had a great time. I love seeing all of your stuff that you're doing on Facebook as well. You're writing books and doing cool things, talking about smoking cigars and everything. So thank you for letting me into your life and letting me join in your Facebook group and all of that. I also want to give a shout out to Courtney Ahola, which is Slice's girlfriend, for doing art for the show and contributing in other ways and helping moderate the page. I want to give special thanks out there to Ryan. You didn't think I was going to forget you, Ryan. You knew you knew I wouldn't. This guy has always been there for me. He's had my back like since day one, and we're totally like each other's cheerleaders. He does his thevrgrid.com. I do the PSVRlife. We're like, yeah, we're both awesome. We're both nobodies, but we're awesome, and we're having a good time with it, and just really getting out there. I've definitely enjoyed all of the episodes that we were on together. Were I to continue the show, it would have been you were my first choice on there, but I'm not continuing the show. The show's going away because I just want to branch off into other things. It's been 2 years, so it's kind of time. It's good to do things like that on an anniversary. It's not because I'm mad or that, anything else is going on or I'm broke. It's just time for a change. It's time for new things. And you've heard me talk about my cameras on the podcast like a lot, and I'm sure you got sick of it. But this is what I want to do more than anything else right now, is focus on doing my VR 180 videos. So even though the PSVRlife podcast is going away, I'm still going to be around. But I'm going to be on YouTube, and I'm going to be on the PSVRlife Facebook page. Won't shut that down, and I will continue to talk about the stuff that I do for PSVR and post my videos and keep conversations going. I think most of the group by this point is random people who just do searches on Facebook for PSVR, and then they come in there like nobody knows it's a podcast anymore. But the podcast will also live on. The webpage is going to sit around for a while, probably another year at least. I got hosting and everything like they paid out. It's not a big deal. I might put the domain up for sale though. I don't know. Should I put up the domain for sale? It's cheap to renew. I'll hold on to it or do something with it. But yeah, the archives of the show will be up for any determinable amount of time. I'll try and announce before I take all of the files offline, and I'll do that on the PSVR Life group, and probably do it on the feed as well. I'll probably know ahead of time and say, hey, this is the last episode. You have a week before I yank everything. But things will be up there. I mean, we have tons of episodes that kind of chronicle the first 2 years of the PSVR life. Just the trials and tribulations of my life, getting stung by scorpions or getting married, going on trips, things like that. All of my life I got to share with you, and just the PSVR as it grew as a device. I knew it was going to be a big deal. I knew it was going to be like the best VR headset for a while. But I want to explore other kind of things in there. There's really cool stuff coming out that I'm going to explore in VR, VR video, and other VR games and experiences and things as they go through. So I'm going to be continuing to do VR stuff for a while. Is this shirt clean? Yeah, I took it out of the wash. Right now, working on my new project, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but it's called WatchinVR.com. It's my new kind of thing that I'm doing, and you can check that out there. The channel for YouTube is going to be around at Danthal42. Where I'll continue talking about things including PSVR, PCVR, life in general, just kind of doing things and having fun with virtual reality and continuing that. But PSVR Life, gonna put a cap on it. Just gonna say it's done. Not gonna drag it out. Not gonna pod fade or anything like that. Just put a cap on it and say goodbye. Thank you very much for everything that you've done for me, all of the conversations we've had, all of the connections we've made, and all the the conversations and connections we're gonna continue to keep up. I'll be around. Say hello. I'll say hello as well. And anyways, it's hard to say. A final goodbye. You have to say like a final, and it's done and it's over. And it's not like the first time I've ended a podcast by saying goodbye. So I should be familiar with it, but it's difficult. The last words you say are the last words you say. So you want to drag it out and train it. As Slice would say, just put on your headset and get a life. And what I would say is, have a good one.